Mars is the part of you that acts. The North Node is the part of you that evolves. And in Pisces, they don't push you, but instead they pull you into a path that your soul already chose. That's right, today we're going to be talking about the legendary Mars conjunct the North Node in Pisces, what this entails. I'm going to go ahead and open up straight with the Sabian symbol just to give you a great illustration of what the energy, and I'm hearing the stage is setting for you today. So Pisces at 9 degrees because it's happening at 8 degrees, so we're going to round it up for the Sabian symbols. So this is a jockey spurs his horse forward. It's a 0-point activation because this conjunction doesn't move you through logic, but instead it moves through frequency. And the Sabian symbol reveals exactly how it happens. So a jockey spurs his horse forward. The moment the soul says go, and the body finally agrees. The horse is your instinct, your intuition, your emotional intelligence, and the quiet knowledge beneath your thinking mind. It's a part of you that already knows the direction long before you consciously commit to it. The jockey is your will. The moment you stop hesitating, stop circling around the starting line, and finally choose the timeline that's been calling your name. This degree is pure initiation, and not from ego, but from alignment. It's the surge of momentum your spirit has been building towards for months. If we view this from the 0 point, which is a completely neutral field, it's to see life on Earth through the lens of Source, okay, through the eyes of Source. This isn't about you being guided or acting from fear, but instead it's you acting from memory, okay, acting from timelines that have already played out and is simultaneously existing. It's the moment you drop into presence long enough to hear the real direction. From 0 point, this conjunction feels like a decision that arrives without effort, a pull that's stronger than your doubt, and a step that feels obvious rather than dramatic. This is not a push yourself transit, but instead it's a your soul already moved, so now follow. Pisces dissolves friction. It softens the ego's pace so that the soul's pace can finally lead. You move faster when you stop fighting the water. And Mars in Pisces teaches that action isn't force, it's surrender to the right current. You align with destiny the moment that you stop dragging the old story behind you. This Sabian symbol makes it so clear because the horse is already in motion. It's the jockey that's catching up. And that's why it reminds me of the Chariot in the tarot deck, right? Because the Chariot is literally, there's one horse that represents the ego and the physical vessel, and the other horse represents the soul. That's what this is. And there's also another card in this deck. I'm trying to find it for you to show you, but it's basically a card. The fact all royal watches were in order. So these are guides encoded into your field at the time of birth that's watching this moment activate for you, and it feels like an internal activation that's happening. Let me see if I can find the horse for you. It's a very specific card and I do want to read it before we continue. Let me see. Here we go, action. This is the horse card. So again, even here you can see a dark and a light horse. And Mars meeting the North Node at this degree is like the universe saying, well, the race has already started. Literally trust the direction right now because the momentum that the horses are creating are so real. It's not necessarily about speed, but it's a moment of clarity that's happening within your own internal field. So a timeline doesn't open because you chase it, but instead it opens because you became neutral enough to receive it. You are receiving the timeline and everything in it right now. That's what this is. You're anchoring that future sequence of events into the present moment by becoming a frequency match to it, okay, and not its absence. Let me go ahead and read 17 and then we'll continue. So, can you act without fear? This is about energizing effort and willingness to work. This card tells you that now's the time for more aggressive forward movement. The galloping horses represent intentional and concerted action directed to your goals. This card upright indicates that you're on the right track, but your determined efforts must increase. The white horse is inner action of spirit and thought. The black is the outer work that still needs to be done. So continue taking action and trust your intuition. In time, you'll break through and see the results that you've been working so hard to create. It can also feel like you're having to kind of make a structured plan and then take daily action towards it in order to get closer to your goals. And and being conscious of your ability to act on your own behalf. The affirmation is, I'm responsible for my own life and I take action towards my goals and my own happiness every single day. And that's the spiritual maturity of this transit, because it's, can you act without fear? Can you trust your instinct without guarantees? And can you let the next step feel natural instead of overwhelming? Can this be a shift that you're being called to embrace instead of feeling like you're having to brace for it? Because this is the moment where your alignment becomes your action, and that's what the Chariot is. So it's not about you even competing with anyone, you're just simply outgrowing who you are. The path isn't something that you invent, but it's something that you recognize. This is the version of you that's been waiting for your yes. This is the timeline your intuition has been hinting at, and it's the moment you move because you feel the direction. This is your soul saying, I've shown you the path, now ride it. That's what this is. That's what the Chariot is. Let me also, for the Chariot, I'm gonna see if I can find some downloads that I had for the Chariot. I remember doing a reading specifically on it, so I'll see what comes up, because I'm being called to find it and read it. So this body is the Chariot. 23rd of October could be significant for you. This body came equipped with combat muscle memory. So that's when I was in Peru. I was doing a combat muscle memory around you remembering parallel life gifts, essentially, and gifts of the soul that you're re-downloading into each avatar that you move through this construct with. But this body, it came equipped with celestial muscle memory, the encoded reflexes of a soul that's been trained across lifetimes in light work, remembrance, and resonance. So you come back into remembrance through each incarnation, and that is the muscle memory. It's how quickly can you come back to yourself again and again and again and again within this lifetime alone. So your current vessel is not random. I spoke about it being a precise container calibrated for the frequency of your mission. Just as some souls arrive with combat muscle memories, yours came with a harmonic recall. The way your body already knows how to breathe through frequency shifts or move energy through your hands without formal training. These are echoes of previous mastery that are now resurfacing as instinct, and that's very much an instinctual Mars energy, because it also represents your drive, ambition, and also the physical vessel. So it came equipped with muscle memory, right? It's innate memory of some kind of instinctive divine design that you have. Now the Chariot is the trained vessel. So the Chariot is an archetype of a disciplined soul within the body as a divine instrument. It's mastery through embodiment, alignment between will and the vehicle. It speaks of those who have already earned their tools in other lifetimes, muscle memory of the spirit, and are now steering that in the physical form. And why the Chariot is because the body is the vessel, and it carries this encoded direction of purpose and command over motion. So I remember how to move through worlds with precision. Okay, this is something that you've been able to do. Now, there was also another Chariot message that I'm going to try and find. I want this to kind of be a free flow style, so I'm going to see if I can find it. So in the astral realm, this is a journey through life, and it represents your drive and power to move forward, and also signifies the path that you're taking. Okay, the carriage will signify the path that you're taking. The horse pulling the carriage forward represents your ability to take action and move forward towards your goals. And it's also a metaphor for the soul. Hold up, let me find that again. So the Chariot is pulled by two winged horses, one mortal and the other immortal. Chariot energy brings you in touch with your most powerful autonomy. The Chariot echoes the expression, don't look backwards because you're not moving there. Move forwards on the path, right? Don't look backwards unless you're admiring how far it is that you've come. That's what this is. Don't allow the path to dictate or define. I'm hearing collapse you into a very specific localized octave of self, when really you are so much more expansive than that. Okay, there's a part of you that's untouched by time and unaffected by the events that have occurred or transpired along, I'm hearing this web of realities. So mortals have much more of a turbulent ride. The white horse wishes to rise, but the dark horse attempts to pull the Chariot back towards the earth, right? So localized, physical, and thinking that's all that you are, when really you are the timeless consciousness navigating this vessel, not the other way around. So as the horse pulls in opposite directions, the charioteer attempts to get them into sync. Allowing the ego or vessel to lead the soul is following the black horse, only becoming attached to the construct of the matrix, essentially. So prolonged embodiment can risk, etheric beings forgetting their cosmic origins, and that creates the echoes of humanity that we see when it comes to, you know, spiritual amnesia or human amnesia that we fall into, where we forget that we are actually, you know, a fractal of source, and that fractal is the soul and the expression. So yeah, that's super interesting, right? Yeah, I'm not gonna get into that because that's like a whole, it's a whole thing with the Chariot energy. I'll try and find that reading and link it down below. But looking at life on earth through the eyes of the soul, that's what I said. When you begin to observe consciously, it starts to behave differently. The old version of you that has also been on autopilot has become aware of old patterns manifesting. You can consciously choose a different path, and that's something that you're reaching, because heaven is a state of consciousness. It's not even a location, but it's about you looking at your location and seeing that it's not that it changed, but it's that you did. It's that you're seeing it with new eyes, and that's what it feels like is happening in this lifetime when it comes to your potential. I'm also being called to read the Chariot energy in this deck. Now, I believe in this card. I mean, I'm not going to apologize for not having these, like, what's the word, arranged for you, but that's just how it goes. Okay, I was not even expecting, this wasn't supposed to be a Chariot reading, but it was, right? So the Chariot in this deck, what is it again? Let me see if I can find it real quick. I believe it is the Web of Life, or it's the Map of Life card, and I'm going to read it because this is a very important message. No, the life map is the Wheel of Fortune. Let's see. The Chariot. Here, the Spirit Plane. Okay, so the Chariot is the Spirit Plane in this deck. As you can see, it's like a car with headlights. Let me go ahead and find it and read it for you. Okay, rest, feeling at home. The Spirit Plane pulses with a warm magic and that feels like home. The light here is a greenish hue, but it feels warmer and brighter than anything felt on earth. The air is sweet and tranquil, and orbs of light float by you. These are souls. A constant melody seems to follow behind each one. As a soul in the Spirit Plane, there's no conflict or sadness. Life here is blissful, but without the bad. It's difficult to discern the good. When the Spirit Plane shows up in a reading, take it as a suggestion for meditative rest and reflection. Appreciate what skills you have acquired and who you have become already at this point in your life. Know that you are a remarkable being, and let it rejuvenate your weary soul. Then take these feelings and that internal power that you have acquired and hold on tight, because this next chapter is only just the beginning. This is a card about becoming who you are and feeling at home with yourself and your surroundings. It can be worrisome for those who fear stillness, but stillness is sometimes the best move to make. So this is definitely giving me what used to drive you is now taking a back seat. Like, fear and the version that you've had to be in order to get here is no longer the version that you are moving forward. There's beauty in surrender. I'm hearing allow that surrender to dictate the next action that you take. And understand where you're acting from. Love or fear. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing because we'd love to have you around. Personal reading details are also down below. There will be a waiting list though if you are seeing this when this video does first launch into the world. And yeah, I will love and leave you right there. Also check out Otter Spray if you're looking for some high quality AAA graded jewelry. One of the proceeds are donated towards Otter sanctuaries. And until next time, bye.